I'm gonna tell you what, my old man's riding around Pigeon Forge sweating like Kimmy in Sunday service without a songbook. You know, when you deal with family, usually it doesn't go well. There's always a winner in a trade. You know, there's never an even trade. And, me and my dad, we go back and forth. And I know you've seen the stories before, me talking about my father. You know, my dad will buy a car, and of course, this is the best thing in the world. If I buy one, it's shit. I mean, it's just how it is with him. So I'll never forget, and this has been several years back, I was in my 20s. Dad bought a 67 Camaro RSSS, and this is the ultimate trailer park ride. Like, he actually bought this thing out of a trailer park. And we painted it and jazzed it up. And I was always telling Dad, you need to change the wheels and tires on this car. It kind of takes away from it. It's such a nice car. I'm not spending that money on that thing. I know how to sell cars. Good enough. I went and bought a nice 65 Bonneville around the same time, and I lowered it. It was actually a one-owner car. I actually bought it from the original owner's brother when he passed away. Black, red and white interior. This thing was 22 feet long, two-door, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, literally, if it was another foot longer, you'd need a CDL to drive it. It's a gorgeous car, and I lowered it down, put a nice big set of wheels on it. Had a great look to it, like a big supersized GTO. And I drove around, 389 Air, nice car. Just a good cruiser, and just clean, immaculate. And, I'm riding around in it. I like the little car. Well, the local rod run's coming up, up in Tennessee, so everybody's taking their cars up to sale. So Dad's getting his Camaro cleaned up. I'm wiping down my old Bonneville. Here we are. We head up the road to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee to the rod run. And we have, a lot of people there. Every car up there is for sale. So naturally we got our for sale signs in our cars and we're riding around. Well, Dad left before I did. And he had horrible luck with this car. Everything he did to this car, it took twice as long or cost twice as much. And I think that's the whole idea why he didn't want to change the wheels and tires on it. He was just done with it. He wanted to sell it. So he puts the car on a trailer, headed up to Tennessee, and I'm standing back at the shop holding down the Ford. I was going to roll out that evening. I'd drive my old Bonbon up the mountain. It's a great car. And he goes to trailer it. He's not gone 15 minutes. I get a phone call. Had a strap break. The Camaro slid off the trailer. Made a crease right in the rocker panel. And he was just, at this point, took two of us to get the car back on the trailer on all four tires. We restrapped the car down. He said, this car's gone. I'm done with it. I'm taking it to Tennessee and I'm selling it. Good enough. This time I went ahead and followed him on up in the Bonbon. Me and Miss Pitts number one riding up the road and, having a good time. We get to Pigeon Forge and it's so muggy and hot. And it's just that hot, humid heat. And that Bonneville literally had air conditioning. Like, no, you could keep meeting this thing. So here we are riding around with the windows up. I mean, riding about 3 inches off the ground, just cruising. Everybody's hooting and hollering and loving it. I mean, this thing would frost the windows up. The air would get so cold in it. And just cruising right along. And here's my dad in a big block Camaro with not a drop of air. I'm telling you what, my old man's riding around Pigeon Forge sweating like Kimmy in Sunday service without a songbook. I finally felt sorry for him after the first night of letting him suffer riding around in. I said, tell you what, I'll toss keys with you. We'll trade for the night. So I let him drive my Bonneville. So him and Mom go out cruising around, go out to dinner in the Bonneville. He said, that ain't a bad old car. And I said, that's why I bought it. And I didn't even drive the Camaro because I'll be honest with you, I already knew how that was going to go. And so he comes back and he said, I like that little car. He said, you got any bites on it? I said, not a one yet. I said, you got any bites on your Camaro? He said, not a one. He said, I'll tell you what I'll do. He said, I'll trade you. Done. Now, you got to understand, when you're dealing with my dad, he's kind of an Indian giver. You got to watch him. Like, he'll tell you something, and then 30 minutes later, well, no, I'm done. Give me the title. This is my car. That's your car now. The Bonneville is yours. The yellow Camaro is mine. So we get the car back to the shop, the Camaro. First thing I do, put a nice set of billet wheels on it, clean it up, and I put it in the auto trader. And sold the car for way more than what he was asking for. It drove him nuts. I actually had the rocker fixed on it too, where it got creased. And put the trim pieces across the bottom. And I mean, it was really not even an expensive fix. It had more than wheels and tires than anything. And what I had in the Bonneville was about half of what he paid for the Camaro originally. And he had the Bonneville for about another 6 months before he ended up trading it off. And I sold my Camaro in about 2 weeks with his new mag wheels on it. And after that, my dad really wouldn't trade with me anymore. Like he's just not a fan of trading with his son. But hey, it is what it is. Some trade deals, you got to watch them.
The story of your dream car starts with finding it, and the best way to do that is with Autotempest.com. Autotempest allows you to compare the results from Craigslist nationally with all the top listing sites. So visit Autotempest.com today, and before long, you'll be making some amazing car stories of your very own.